September 25th. I can't wait to see the fans rocking that stadium because the volume, the intensity, the energy can't be denied. The way they've designed that stadium is specifically for fans and vibrations and sound and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all. On my way home now, I'm going to do some training after. Then I've got sparring tomorrow. I've got Southpaw in front of me, so things will change up, but I'll be more than ready. It's a mental battle, so yeah, I'll be mentally ready, physically ready as well.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backshot Boxing. Now, man, my boy Anthony Joshua. That was just a little soundbite of my boy AJ reacting to the arena he's going to be fighting in, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. And man, you hear Joshua, he's laughing. And this video is on Instagram, man. You guys can watch it for yourself. But he basically talks about how he's excited for the crowd, the atmosphere, to really boost the stadium up and, make this fight extremely electrifying. One thing about fights is it's all about the audience getting into the fight. The loud noises when somebody hits somebody and it's a back and forth fight, and that gives the guy an extra boost. You can't tell me that a fighter who's fighting in their hometown and he's getting beat and the crowd rallies behind him and that gives him a little adrenaline boost. That definitely helps out for sure. And Anthony Joshua, he's extremely excited to see that. He's basically having Oleksandr Usyk, he's laughing because he knows this is Oleksandr Usyk's resting place, come September. Wild stuff, man. My boy, in September 25th, this will be Oleksandr Usyk's resting place in the stadium. RIP to Oleksandr Usyk. You can't be fighting in London, UK, in your hometown and not wanting to put on a show for Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua is subliminally saying that he can't wait for the crowds to get hyped because what he's going to do to Oleksandr Usyk. It's obviously not a state that he's going to be in the ring getting beat up and he can't wait for the crowd to go wild when he's getting spanked, pole to pole. No. That's not AJ. He's doing the smashing. Anthony Joshua's doing the smashing, especially in the UK. Now, that being said, Anthony Joshua's getting back to his fundamentals. I've seen him training again, and the guy looks big. It's wild the kind of dedication Anthony Joshua has to sport of boxing. To have such a body figure that it's so massive and you're so big, it deforms your body. Anthony Joshua is so massive, it looks inhuman. Anthony Joshua damn near looks like a superhero when you watch him train sometimes. His veins be popping out. He's like, it's disgusting. And Anthony Joshua was the kind of athlete to where if he changes his diet, one time he'll look lean and cut up, and the next second he'll look bulky and cut up. The kind of training he does to get there is shocking. If you know anything about working out, there's times where you can work out and you're just, you get bigger. If you do push-ups or whatever, you can make your chest look bigger or whatever. But Anthony Joshua, it seems when he works out, his whole body just swells up with just, all that power. It's shocking. It's definitely something to behold. It got to the point where everyone expects everyone to look like Anthony Joshua. He's definitely the standard aesthetically as to what a heavyweight should look like. Every time people see common countryman Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, and they see his body, people only get disappointed, even if it doesn't translate into boxing ability. Looking at Tyson Fury is underwhelming to looking to a guy like Anthony Joshua. Not only that, Tyson Fury is a lot younger than Anthony Joshua as well, so it's just a weird dynamic going on where one guy looks like he's not only in better shape, but he looks younger, and you got another guy who's out of shape but fat, but he has seemingly more athleticism, at least in a translating to boxing, at least in Tyson Fury, because he moves better, he throws a jab better, bobs and weaves better. But at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua, he's gonna go into the ring and make a statement with Oleksandr Usyk, man. Now, I'm not talking past Oleksandr Usyk, man. He's gonna bring the fight. He's been really pushing for this fight, and Eddie Hearn was trying to do whatever it takes to make sure Oleksandr Usyk does not fight Anthony Joshua, right? He was trying to make Usyk fight people like Dillian White, or no, he was trying to make Oleksandr Usyk fight like people like Joseph Parker. I'm sorry, and then just try to derail the guy to maybe him take a loss, because Oleksandr Usyk, contrary to popular belief, is extremely he's an accomplished boxer. At cruiserweight, what he did was nothing short of historic, right? Becoming the first undisputed cruiserweight champion. That's historic. That's just a fact, right? Coming up to heavyweight. So, if you actually watch Oleksandr Usyk fight, the guy is extremely dynamic, right? He's boxing 1 second, he can walk you down the next, and the styles he fought were so different, and you have to have basically a different game plan for each fighter. When you watch Oleksandr Usyk fight, you really can't put him in a bottle, because he could change his style so much. So I'm really excited to see Oleksandr Usyk versus Anthony Joshua. Contrary to popular belief, I do think this is a competitive fight. It's just a size difference between the two. That's really the exclamation point in this fight that really gives people disbelief in Oleksandr Usyk's chance of winning the fight. Is just the size gap. If they're both the same size, I'm positive that people will lean more toward Oleksandr Usyk. But the fact is that Anthony Joshua is so big, so massive, it's inhumane. And the guy is like a walking superhero. Britain's superhero. So, we're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man. Anthony Joshua, one thing he does believe in is his power. He's not going back to the Andy Reid's, all cardio type workouts. He's going back to power, man. He's going back to all power, because, being a fast mover and boxing are two different things. And I do believe Oleksandr Usyk can possibly box better than Anthony Joshua. Now, he can get in good physical shape for like he did for Andy Ruiz, but moving quick and actually boxing in footwork and moving quick are two different things. And Oleksandr Usyk has better footwork than him, so that whole idea of being a fast mover and jabbing and moving and throwing a stick out there 1-2, that will only help Anthony Joshua so much. He realized that he can't really play the game of speed with Oleksandr Usyk, which is smart. You can't really play the speed game with Oleksandr Usyk. You gotta play the power game with him. Derek Chisora proved that you can walk down Oleksandr Usyk and impose yourself on him, right? And he can't do anything but move back, because Oleksandr Usyk hits hard, but if you impose himself on him, he will back up, and it's harder to generate power moving backwards than forwards, right? Watch the Gervonta Tank Davis fight versus Mario Barrios. Gervonta Tank Davis is a power puncher, but he really didn't start imposing himself until later in the fight. When Barrios was backing him up, he really could, and Gervonta Tank Davis really couldn't set any power up. It's extremely hard for power punchers to set power up when they're moving backwards. Think of Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, the second fight. Even though Tyson Fury's gloves look sketch, the fact of the matter is, when you're pushing someone backwards, they can't really. Their feet aren't set for their punches, because they're not only moving backwards, but they're moving at an angle, and their feet aren't set to generate the power they want to generate. Furthermore, they're moving in a direction that their opponent is pushing them in. If their opponent is pushing them in a direction, you're doing what your opponent wants you to do. You're not doing what you want you to do. So that I just have to give a couple examples of how hard it is for people to generate power moving backwards. It's not just that you're moving backwards, it's that you're moving backwards avoiding punches from an elite level fighter, the best fighter in the world. So that being said, it's hard to generate power, because you're playing his game. It's a game of cat and mouse when you're fighting backwards, for sure. And only the elite of the elite can move backwards and set traps for the guy coming forward. That's extremely rare in the sport of boxing. It's really, really rare to have a guy such that he can basically have you come forward and be comfortable with it, because he knows he's going to walk into the traps, right? So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out with Anthony Joshua. He could have us all fooled. Maybe he's going to use some of his new moves with Andy Ruiz. I actually liked him in that fight, man. He looked great. He was fast, and he was dancing in the 12th round. He looked great. I like that form of Anthony Joshua. I just felt like if he wanted to, he could have imposed himself more on Andy Ruiz. Will he do the same to Oleksandr Usyk? I mean, time will only tell. And will Usyk make adjustments? One thing Usyk does really well is make adjustments in fight. and we're gonna see if he can do the same thing to Anthony Joshua. But anyway, man, let me know you guys feel about it though, man. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Geeked Empire. Peace.